when Ken was first diagnosed, we were both devastated and very depressed. I actually forgot to call on God initially. We were trying to figure out ways to survive this disease.
I'm at a point in the early stages where you have just about all your cognitive abilities still there, you might say. But when you're further down the path, a lot of people lose all of that. And in the end, you're practically a vegetable, which is heartbreaking to me.
It was a Sunday morning. Dr. Doucette asked me how I was doing as I walked into the sanctuary. And I said, well, I'm having kind of a hard time. I think my blood pressure might be a little high, and I'm feeling very tired. And he said, Mary Margaret, you don't need to worry about anything. God will take these things from you. God will give you the knowledge and the path to take. And as he said that, for some reason, I turned from him, and I turned about 180 degrees and looked straight at the cross at the end of the sanctuary, and was completely taken by the gleaming presence of God right there. And I turned back and I said, oh, of course. And that, along with Dr. Doucette coming to our home and counseling with us and working with us and just being in a loving presence at St. Stephen's, just gave me the message that I don't need to worry, that God is going to show us the way, and he has.
My relationship with God hasn't changed before or after. This is just part of the whole picture, you might say. God is still there. He was there before, and he'll be there later. So I get more absolute, you might say, as to my feeling as far as my spiritual aspect of living.
I feel called to be a caregiver, and I am a caregiver. I've always been a caregiver, actually, and as an educator, working with young children, I was certainly doing that. I worked with persons with disabilities. I worked with adults with disabilities. So from a very young start in my career, I was a caregiver. I didn't expect to be in retirement, but I feel as though I've had a lot of background knowledge.
Can't let it go.
And I seem to be called to do this. And it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It is a good thing because...
See, I'm called to be given care.
But you're also you're called to give me care.
That's true, absolutely.
Because we care for each other. And I couldn't do this journey without you.
Yeah. I think it's so different between the caregiver and the person affected, because I don't worry about being healed. I'm healed. She struggles, and I'm paraphrasing what you would say, with taking the burden of taking care of me, where I can't worry about that because there's nothing I can do about it. That's why I am so adamant about the caregiver's educational process, the support that the caregivers go, because Mary goes to caregivers groups, and they all commune with each other because they all are struggling, much more than I am struggling, because I can't do anything about it, where they are in a very conscious battle. So the caregivers are just, they are the saints. They really are.
I realized I had a choice to make. Either I could continue to be in pain, in suffering, or I could become joyful, find the joy in the pain, become an advocate, become an educator, become an ambassador for helping others with Alzheimer's, as well as, of course, you. And so for me, the pain and suffering was a very necessary part to awaken me.
One of the things now that I have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I'm much more aware of other people and being able to help other people who have been diagnosed. There's a tremendous process that you have to go through before you get to acceptance. And many people struggle with that journey. And for some it's short, some it's long. And it's, I've done a lot with the Alzheimer's Association as far as mentoring other people to see how they're going on their journey. I have been blessed in that I have not gone into decline as fast as many other people have. And to me, it's heartbreaking to see someone who was very viable last year not having near the viability this year. I try to stimulate all my friends that I know in our association with Alzheimer's to do as much as they can today, live right in the moment. And don't worry about the future, because we don't know what that's going to hold. And forget about the past, because it's gone. So right now is the important part of life. Right this second, that's what's important in life. What can you do this second? And that's kind of been my mantra, is to try to live that way and try to get other people to live that way.